I am Pierre Bodry, conseiller d'État français et Vice Chairman of the Fondation Albert Ier Institut océanographique. The oceans are very attractive. More and more people live or work near the sea or enjoy it for their leisure. Still very few have a clue of what's going on under the surface. Jacques-Yves Cousteau is not here anymore to take millions of people underwater. So when the world starts talking about climate change, negotiations tend to forget maybe how important the oceans are. The core mission of Oceanographic Institute is to reveal how beautiful, how important, and how fragile marine life is. To bring together the different stakeholders, scientists, businessmen, politicians, to share their views, learn from each other, and define how we can collectively manage the oceans. I would like to thank Pew Charitable Trusts and Paris Lettres, two prominent partners of the Maison des Océans, for the initiative today, building on the momentum of the World Ocean Day yesterday, to bring together the hard science, I would say the best, clear and certain science, and advice for managing the oceans. Her Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco tirelessly points out that the oceans are already changing fast. Both climate change and ocean acidification are underway. Of course, we must limit the magnitude of that change, and I hope the COP21 will be a success. We also have to start talking about adaptation. Existing ocean management tools should now take into account the effects of climate change and acidification. Well-designed networks of marine protected areas are probably part of the solution. In both cases, understanding the strong relations between ocean and climate is essential. But measuring and understanding is not all. Immediate action is required. It's high time the ocean become part of the climate negotiations. Climate change becomes part of ocean management. Again, I thank the Pew Charitable Trust and Paris Lettres for this initiative. I wish you a fruitful conference, and I ensure full support of the Oceanographic Institute to reach out the public as well as political leaders from now to the COP21 and after. Thank you very much.
There's no better place than this to talk about the oceans in Paris. So thank you for welcoming us here. It's great to be here. We'll now have a few words from Jean-Louis Bougeret, who is the Vice President of Paris Sciences et Lettres, who is one of the co-organizers of this event.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here, certainly. So I will perhaps explain you what exactly is Paris Sciences et Lettres. France has gone through a very deep restructuring of higher education and research during the last 10 years or so. We have in France about 80 universities, 250 engineering schools, 250 business schools, and the government has grouped all them together and wanted to see only less than 30 big universities. So if you divide, you end up with something like 26, 27. Each one of them has about 20, 15, 24, 25 different institutes, and PSL groups together 24 schools, essentially, and institutes. In this sense, it's quite different from the others. The only university in PSL is Université Paris-Dauphine, which is not really considered or cannot be considered as a university since it selects its students. So it's more like a grande école. So we have, just briefly, 24. I'm not going to list all of them, but essentially started on the Montagne Sainte-Geneviève with the around École Normale Supérieure and some engineering schools. And let's say, put it this way, we have engineering schools like École des Mines de Paris, ESPCI, that's a school of the Curie, of Charpak and de Gênes, l'École de Chimie de Paris, l'École Normale Supérieure, Collège de France, Institut Curie, and Observatoire de Paris. And we also have all the 5 art schools in Paris, Conservatoire National Supérieur de Danse, Art Dramatique, la FEMIS, etc. And also, I'm certainly forgetting a large number, but I want to mention the schools in social science and humanities that joined recently, École des hautes études en sciences sociales, École pratique des hautes études, École nationale des chartes, École française d'Extrême-Orient. I don't know if the English-speaking get those, but they are the science and humanity. So you understand the thing about PSL is that it covers basically everything from arts, humanities, social sciences, law, etc. Everything that you need to study the environment and the oceans and the present situation. So among those, something like 30, there was years ago with the Grand Emprunt, there was a competition for Initiative d'Excellence, excellence initiative that you have in different countries, and PSL was one of the 8 that won a special funding. So it helps really build projects, and environment is one of them. I want to say why research universities. PSL is in the sense of number of students is small. It's something like 19,000 students compared to some universities, big universities that have 50,000 or more. But among those 19,000 students, 70% are postgraduate students, which means they are working on a master degree or on a PhD. And this is just where the science happens in PhD thesis. Of course, we also have, I think it's almost 4,000 scientists, researchers, but 4,000 PhD students also. That's the strength. And we are trying to build something, and we are building something across all these themes, as I say, using law, social sciences, and of course, biology and everything. And that's the key issue with our support. So I'm very glad that Chris has arranged this day now, and I wish you a very successful afternoon here. Thank you.
And now my co-organizer, Nicole Aussedat, from the Pew Charitable Trusts, will say a few words. Thank you, Nicole.
Merci, Chris. Yes, perhaps you know the Pew Charitable Trusts, which is a big, huge American NGO working on land only in the US, but on the ocean matters, it works worldwide in all the oceans. And it leads many campaigns about sharks. For instance, in France, we had Shark Alliance here. About fisheries, we had Ocean 2012 here in France and Europe, of course, because fisheries are European. And we are here settled in this building to establish huge marine reserves, fully protected or highly protected, in order to, why not, mitigate climate change. And so we have 2 sites, French sites, in the French overseas territories. One is in Papeete, and is working on the Austral Island archipelago, and one is in New Caledonia, in Nouméa, working on the whole EEZ of New Caledonia. And so we are very pleased to organize this event, because Pew always works with science-based evidence, and we are pleased to do that with Chris Bowler and PSL. Thank you to be here.
It's a great time for the oceans. I've not seen this ever in my career, I don't think. We've had a few weeks ago an editorial in Science magazine about the importance of the oceans for the well-being of our planet. We have the front cover of marine plankton on the cover of Science. A great achievement. Yesterday was World Ocean Day at UNESCO. Many of you were there. It was a remarkable event, and there's a real buzz I see about getting the oceans on the map, finally, getting the oceans on the map of climate change. I think a lot of this was really, the catalyst for all of this was the Ocean and Climate Platform, the platform Océans et Climat, which was really a bottom-up undertaking from a lot of different people who care about the ocean, but who care about the ocean in different ways, different NGOs, different organizations, research institutes as well, decided to come together and try and pass on the message that the oceans need to be part of the COP negotiations, and perhaps Paris is a good place to start to talk about the oceans in this context, with the climate negotiations coming up in December. So this sort of grassroots initiative from a lot of mainly French organizations started perhaps a little less than a year ago, I think, and really had a snowball effect, and everybody came on board and was really excited and really happy to be part of this platform, where we basically gave the same message of how important the oceans are for the well-being of our planet, basically. It's been a fantastic initiative, and a lot of different players have been extremely important in keeping this going up until where we were today, into the tremendous success of World Oceans Day at UNESCO yesterday, which is a real testament to what this platform has achieved, I think, in the few months that it has been there. So really, it's the platform that is the catalyst for many things, and also today's meeting is being organised by myself and at Paris Sciences et Lettres, and Nicole at the Pew. Basically happened because we're both part of the platform. We started talking. We thought about how interesting it would be to organize a sort of meeting like this, and from the side of PSL, from the academia of the École Normale Supérieure where I work, and from the CNRS and so on, it's a real pleasure to be able to have worked with the Pew Trusts on this meeting to put together, I think, what is a really nice program. So basically, we hope today, the goal of today really is to sort of explore the science, the hard science behind our understanding of the ocean, the physics, the chemistry, the biology, the complexity of the ocean needs to be addressed if we want to understand it. We also want to address the impacts of human activities on ocean health. And sort of the prospects for the future of the ocean. In 100 years, you know, are we going to have an exploited ocean? Are we going to have a wild ocean? Are we going to have a protected ocean? You know, there are different scenarios which you can envisage for how the ocean will look in 100 years' time. And we would like this to be a forum to sort of just reflect on these possibilities, and, you know, think about perhaps what we can do today to try and ensure some sort of equitable future for the ocean. So these are the sorts of topics that we will address today. We have a fantastic lineup of speakers and also participants in the roundtable discussion. We thank you all for coming. We appreciate that it's a difficult time and that there are many things happening in Paris right now. Also many things related to the environment, to the ocean, and so on. It's also exam time for many of our students. So we appreciate your participation in this event. You are a very high level audience. If you look at the list of people, it's we could easily have a 2-day, a 3-day conference with all of the top quality people in this room. So we really hope that you will benefit, that you will participate certainly in question time and in the round table discussion to make this a nice event. And also, we can also, perhaps after the break, come down further towards the front so that we have more of an intimate atmosphere and promote a more informal exchange between us. So please don't hesitate to move around. So I think with that, thank you again, and I'm looking forward to a very nice afternoon. And I will hand over to Françoise Gaille, who will be our chairman for the first session. And Françoise, you have been a fantastic inspiration these last months, and before that, what you have done for the oceans, what you've done through the Ocean Climate Platform is a great inspiration. Thank you, Françoise.
Thank you.